Yeah, we back. Now today we're going to be talking about the conflict in the Congo, but we're going to be talking about a different character. We're going to be talking about a different individual coming into the scene. We're going to be talking about Uganda. Now, sometimes I get individuals coming to the comment section and they say things like, yeah, I understand why you keeping your foot on Kagame's neck, but how come you always give a pass to Museveni? How come you don't talk about Museveni and Uganda? And it's not that I'm giving a pass to Museveni. It's not that I'm giving a pass to Uganda. It's just that nobody really comes into the comment section trying to defend Museveni or defend Uganda. For the most part, the majority of time, I'm responding to somebody that's defending Kagame or defending Rwanda. So obviously, it's going to seem like I'm spending the majority of my time talking about Kagame. But if there were a bunch of folks coming into the comment section defending Museveni and defending Uganda, I would also make videos coming back and giving my response as well. But anyways, before we get into today's video, man, you already know album is out now. Album is available everywhere. Apple Music, Spotify. Go to my homepage on my YouTube channel. Album is available everywhere. Sahel 1816. Check it out. Enjoy the album. Now let's get back into it. Now, in today's video, like I said, we're going to be talking about Uganda. Now, you already know if Kagame's sending troops into the Congo, Kagame's getting active. You already know Museveni is not going to be sitting at home, not trying to get a piece of the action, right? You already know what time it is, bro. Now, take a look up on the screen. Take a look at this headline. Uganda's military chief threatens to attack the eastern Congo town of Bunia. Let's jump straight into the article. The chief of Uganda's defense forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, said in a post on X on Saturday that he would attack the town of Bunia in neighboring eastern Congo unless all forces there surrendered their arms in 24 hours. Now, I'm going to refer to this guy as Museveni's son, okay, because that's who he is. I believe this is the president's son, Museveni's son. So I'm going to call him Museveni's son instead of calling him his name. He has a very long name. Anyway, Museveni's son, who has a history of posting provocative comments on foreign policy, said that he had the authority of President Yoweri Museveni, who was also his father. A spokesman for Uganda's military said he could not comment on the matter. Earlier on Saturday, Museveni's son had said that, without providing evidence, that people from the Bahima ethnic group were being killed in the Congo. He said, "My people, the Bahima, are being attacked. That's a very dangerous situation for those attacking my people. No one on this earth can kill my people and think that he will not suffer for it." So basically, Museveni's son, operating under the same pretext as Kagame, has threatened to send troops into the Congo to save the persecuted minorities in the Congo. Let's continue. Let's take a look at some of the reactions on social media. Museveni's son said, "My Bahima of Bunia, I am coming." Listen, man, like I told you, ever since Kagame opened the floodgates with that nonsense earlier this year, Elon Musk did the same thing in South Africa with Donald Trump, and now Museveni's son doing the same thing, talking about we going into the Congo to save the persecuted minorities. My God, let's continue. Museveni's son said, "I have said it many times, anybody threatening Rwanda or my uncle Afande Kagame is in danger. That person is looking for a direct conflict with Uganda and with me." So wait, I thought it was to save the persecuted minorities. Now he's talking about if you disrespect Kagame, you disrespect me. So I thought, are we defending the persecuted minorities? Or are we defending Kagame? I'm confused, man. Anyways, this person said, "My Hima Zabunia, I am coming. What is the motivation? A new episode of Rwanda and Uganda in Congo." So many questions. My God. Anyway, let's talk about it, man. As you already know, Rwanda and Uganda, when you see the Congo going through instability, when you see the Congo going through rebel insurgencies, you're going to find two main suspects at the crime scene, Rwanda and Uganda. Now, you would think at this level in life, at this age in life, both of these men would be sitting back, relaxing, spending time with their families, but no. Even at this age, they're still trying to play warlord. You would think after 30 years of sending troops into the Congo, you would think after 30 years of looting and pillaging and running off with the gold and the natural resources and the coltan and everything in between, you would think at this age they'd be sitting back relaxing, but no, they still got their foot on the gas. Now, you already know we've been talking about Rwanda's military exploits into the Congo, Rwanda's military adventures going back since the late 90s, the first Congo Wars, the second Congo Wars, the multiple rebel insurgencies from the RCD to CNDP to now the M23. But during all those conflicts, you got to remember, Uganda was standing right next to Rwanda, right? So if Rwanda was invading and pillaging, you got to understand that Uganda was right there doing the same exact thing. They do the same exact thing. The only reason that I don't spend too much time talking about Uganda or Museveni is because Museveni doesn't really have as many defenders or supporters as Kagame. You see, when you talk about Kagame, you're going to have a legion of supporters in the comment section rushing to his defense, right? He got the PR team on deck, right? He got the bots. He got the, listen, his PR team is excellent. When it comes to Museveni, Museveni doesn't really have as much of a large fan base, as many supporters and defenders to come into the comment section defending his honor. So that's why you're not going to spend too much time talking about Museveni. But pretty much everything that you accuse Paul Kagame of doing, you can accuse Museveni of engaging in the same exact behavior. In fact, I believe that they went to the International Court of Justice against Museveni, and I believe he was ordered to pay reparations to the Congo because of the illegal pillage and plunder of their resources, as well as crimes against humanity. So it's not that I'm ignoring Museveni or I'm trying to spend too much time talking about Kagame. It's just that Museveni doesn't really have as many defenders or supporters, so that's why it seems like that. But anyways, as you can see, right, the chief of the Ugandan military, who was actually the son of the president, Museveni, said that he is going into the Congo. He is sending troops into the Congo to save the persecuted minority, to save his ethnic group, right, the Bahima, right? He said, my Bahima, I am coming, right? So the same pretext as Kagame, right? We got to save the persecuted minorities, right? The same pretext as Elon Musk. We got to save the persecuted Afrikaners, the persecuted white South Africans going through reverse racism in South Africa, right? So, you know, like I said, man, like I said, you open the front door, you open the floodgates, this is what happens. But when it comes to me, like I said, to me, that's all bullshit. To me, that's all nonsense. Do I believe that Museveni's son is doing this because he wants to truly save the persecuted minorities? Or do I believe there's some economic aspects at play, right? Do I believe there's some geopolitical interests at play, right? For example, take a look up on the screen. This article came out last year. Uganda's gold exports jumped more than tenfold in 2023. Let's get into it. Uganda's gold exports surged more than tenfold in 2023, despite U.S. sanctions on a major processor in the East African country. Uganda, which has emerged as a major hub of gold trade in the region, exported gold worth $2.3 billion in 2023, compared with $201 million the previous 12 months. My God. They're not even trying to make it look legitimate. Anyway, let's continue. The huge increase was likely driven by exports from some new processors, including a Chinese plant in eastern Uganda, said Stephen Turiyakiyako, who researches the mining sector in the Great Lakes region. It was likely a result of the new capacity from that Chinese plant and possibly smaller others, he told Reuters. Exporters have also been taking advantage of a suspension of tariffs on gold exports last year, said an official from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development who asked not to be named because he was not authorized to speak publicly. In 2022, the United States imposed sanctions on a Belgian businessman named Alan Goetz and a network of companies connected to him, including African Gold Refinery, one of Uganda's biggest gold refiners. The United States accused Goetz of being involved in the illicit movement of gold from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Anyway, let's get into it. Now, as you can see, that's the guy right here, Alan Goetz, right next to Museveni. As you can see, right? So, you know, Museveni, similar to Kagame, teaming up with the Europeans to traffic African resources and African minerals to the Western supply chains. Now, let's continue. So the Ugandan government justified the increase of their gold exports from 200 million to over 2 billion by saying that we opened some refineries and we lowered some tariffs. My God, man. Come on now. Y'all not even attempting to make it look legitimate, man. And that's probably why your man's got sanctioned, right? The Belgian businessman, Alan Goetz, that's probably why he got sanctioned, because y'all wasn't even trying to make it look legitimate. Y'all was just doing some criminal activity in front of everybody. And let's be real, even if that was the case, right? Let's say I believe what you're saying. Let's say the reason why the exports of gold jumped from 200 million to over 2 billion was because you opened some refineries and you lowered some tariffs. Uganda does not have that much gold. They don't even have that much gold to even process and refine to even justify that number in a single calendar year. But I don't even want to spend so much time talking about that because we already know what time it is when it comes to Rwanda and Uganda. We already know what time it is with them. What I just want to say is this, right? For those of us who are students of history, we understand that history is long, right? And we should understand that empires rise and fall. Nobody stays on top forever. Nobody stays on the bottom forever. Yes, Congo is vulnerable right now. Yes, Congo is weak right now. But you should understand that things don't remain the same forever. If you study the many civilizations that have came and went on the African continent, then you know a common theme throughout African history, going back hundreds and thousands of years even, is how a nation can go from a weak, vulnerable vassal state into a dominant power in the region. We've seen many times throughout African history, smaller nations, weaker nations that were being bullied and raided and subjugated by their neighbors. We've seen them flip the script, and then it was the other side begging for mercy. Even some of your favorite empires, right? Some of the most famous names, right? The Songhai Empire, right? A lot of folks love talking about the Songhai, but they don't talk about for damn near like 150 years, right? Damn near 200 years, the Songhai was a vassal state under the rulership of Mali. They had to pay tribute to the Malian kings, right? The Malian kings were ruling over the Songhai state. And keep in mind, it's only been, maybe 20, 30 years of Congo receiving aggression from Rwanda and Uganda. Songhai had to pay tribute to Mali for damn near 150 years, bro. From the early 1300s to the mid 1400s, bro. And then what happened in the mid 1400s? The Songhai broke away and they went on the offensive and they overtook Mali. They ran Mali over, right? Mali got ran over by the Songhai in the mid 1400s, bro. And then the Songhai became the dominant power in the region. And then guess what happened? It was the Malian kings being forced to pay tribute to the kings of the Songhai. And not only that, but Songhai ended up creating the largest, most expansive empire in all of African history after that. That same little vassal state that was being bullied by Mali, being forced to pay tribute to the kings down in Mali for over 150 years, ended up becoming the most dominant, most largest empire in the history of African history, bro. And I say all that to say, when you see somebody is down right now, somebody is going through a low state right now, number one, don't count them out. And number two, don't kick them while they down. Because when they up, I swear to God, you're going to be begging for mercy. Because like I said, remember, Songhai started out as a small little vassal state under the rulership of Mali. But when Songhai took over and became the dominant power in the region, and guess what? I believe it was under the rulership of King Dawood, Askia Dawood. I think he was one of the sons of Askia Muhammad the Great. What did he do when he was in power? He sacked the capital city of Mali. He destroyed the capital city of Mali. The same Mali that once ruled over the Songhai. They found themselves at the mercy of the Songhai kings. The capital city destroyed. They sacked the city. And we've seen that same scenario play out many times throughout African history, bro. Even when you talk about the kingdom of Dahomey, right? They talk about the kingdom of Dahomey and their involvement in the slave trade. But they don't talk about before Dahomey became a dominant power in the region, they were a vassal under the rulership of the Oyo for over 100 years, bro. They had to pay tribute to the Oyo for over 100 years. They were a vassal, bro. And if they failed to pay tribute, Oyo was going to come destroy the city, was going to come sack the city, bro. They were going to come raid the city. And that went on for damn near 100 years, bro. Literally a century of humiliation. But like I said, things don't remain the same, brother. Things don't remain the same. Because eventually, as these stronger, more established states began to disintegrate and become destabilized, probably from civil wars or internal conflicts or external conflicts, under the proper leadership, Dahomey began to grow in power. They began to grow their military strength. They began to grow their economic strength. And then they went on the offensive against their former enemies, the same nations that once bullied them, that once forced them to pay tribute. They went on the offensive, attacking their neighbors who want to attack them and bully them and sold them into slavery. Now they were the ones collecting tribute. Now they were the ones selling slaves. And even going back to how the Songhai went from a small vassal state under the rulership of Mali to overtaking Mali, the same thing happened with Mali, right? When Mali came to power, I believe they were under the original Ghana Empire, but then they broke off and became the dominant supreme power in the region. So if we are students of history, right? If we are students of African history, we know that, number one, don't kick nobody while they down, right? Don't kick nobody while they down. Don't try to justify it while you up. Because I promise, I swear to God, in the future, you might not be alive to see it, but your future generations, they're going to be alive to see it, right? The same way how the Mali kings were forcing the Songhai kings to pay tribute. Guess what? Their grandkids, they had to suffer the consequences when the Songhai kings came back and they sacked the city. So it's fine. You want to justify destabilizing the Congo and 5 million Congolese deaths? That's fine. You want to continue to add to that conflict and a humanitarian crisis? That's fine. Listen, all I'm saying is things don't remain the same, right? And the same person you might see that's down right now, they might be up tomorrow. The same person you see that's up right now, they might be down and out tomorrow. And keep in mind, we've never seen Rwanda or Uganda under the leadership of anybody else except Museveni or Kagame, right? We've never seen them under the leadership of anybody else. So you have to keep in mind political continuity. Is the person coming after them going to maintain the same foreign policy, the same policy of aggression? We don't know, right? I think that's something to look out for. I think it's going to be interesting to see if the leaders coming after Kagame or Museveni are going to maintain that same political continuity and that same foreign policy as their predecessors. Because like I said, that is a common theme in African history, right? In 50 years, Rwanda and Uganda might be under incompetent leadership, and then you might see Congo going straight to the sky under an excellent leader, because that's how it always goes throughout African history, man. The best example of that would be the nations in the Sahel. Just 10 years ago, the majority of individuals wrote them off. They wrote them off. You talk about Burkina Faso, Niger, like 10 years ago, everybody already wrote them off. Now they're the ones making headlines. Now they're the ones making waves, right? And honestly, that's why I'm telling Kagame to chill out, right? Because listen, man, you might not be there to see it, but do you want your grandkids to suffer the consequences when the Congolese come back for their revenge in like 100 years? That's why I say, man, we should just respect each other. We should just respect each other's boundaries, respect each other's territory. We should just respect each other as brothers, because I'm telling you, if you robbing me today because I'm weak, you robbing me today because I'm down and out. Listen, when I'm up, bro, I'm telling you, you're going to have hell to pay. It's going to be hell to pay when I'm back up. That's why I just maintain a policy, brothers. Let's just respect each other. Let's all just respect each other. And listen, I think that's the best course of action to take. Let's all just respect each other, bro. I think let's just do that, man. Now you got Museveni's son trying to jump into the mix. Man, listen, you already know. When it comes to him, same thing as Kagame. Them boys just want the minerals. They're going to try to deflect and make it seem like it's not about the minerals. Oh, no, it's not about the minerals. We're protecting the Bahima. We're protecting the Tutsi. Man, listen. Okay, you doing all that, but you smuggling billions of millions. Come on, bro. You protecting the so-called minorities, but at the same time, you smuggling billions of dollars worth of gold out, right? You smuggling billions of dollars worth of minerals out, right? At the same time, right? While you protecting, we're protecting the minorities and we're protecting the minerals. I got you. I get you. Anyways, man, listen. It's your boy Never Card Desalegn back in the building. Yes, indeed. Album out now. Sahel 1816. Apple Music, Spotify. Go to my YouTube page on the homepage. Album everywhere. Let's go. Cash App in the description. Support the album. Support the channel. Peace.
Told me she loved me and said that it's real. So independent, ain't signing no deal. Feel like a king and I'm up in Cap Henry. I'm in the citadel, top of the hill. Trying to run up and we let off a cannon. Secret location, I'm keeping it sealed. You ain't retaliate, Franco Medina. Came to the country and he got killed. You ain't retaliate, Rafi and Mans. Thought you was law, thought you was real. Didn't even want to come pick up the body. Had your man locked up, he died in the cell. Up at the palace, I'm throwing a party. Right on the south and I'm giving them hell. And my little shorty, she looking exotic. African features, she casting a spell. Run to the check like I work on my fitness. Wake up each morning and handle my business. Said that she love me, she want my genetics. Wanna get married and make it official. Wanna get married and have my babies. Up in the city, I'm riding Mercedes. Up in the city, they treat me like royalty. Feeling like Dolph, talking about lords. Spreading my wings and I had to get fly. Up in the top, an incredible vibe. Came from the bottom, I'm up in the sky. Gave one look and said, baby, you fine. Wake up each morning and handle my business. They just be talking, you see me, I live it. Ride on my enemies, sounding like thunder. 1804, got that shit in my spirit. 1804 when I step in the building. 1804, and that's word of my mother. Ross my women and die for my brother. Never gon' fall when I'm deep under pressure. Tell them we back and they better accept it. Move like a king, every step is divine. Ride on my enemies with no exception. Taking revenge and I'm taking what's mine. Pour up a drink and it's time that we toast. Watching my back, keep my enemies close. Only the family, I stick with my brothers. Cannons position outside of the coast. Heavy artillery for the protection. Move like a general, stick to the code. Feel like a king when I'm up in the north. Beautiful women, they trying to get chose. Launch an invasion all over the south. Capture the capital with all my woes. Look at my energy and my demeanor. Dripping in ice and that's head to my toes. Lately I'm flexing all on the Americans. Flexing my muscle on missing my road. Just got a carriage just coming from London. Boy, that shit cash, I ain't taking no loans. Boy, that shit cash, that's fresh on the boat. Enemy know I got millions in gold. Enemy know I got choppers and cannons. How did I do it? They can't understand it. How did I do it? It's cause I'm relentless. Call me King Harry, my name is cemented. Call me King Harry, I'm up in the palace. Call me King Harry, I'm raising the status.